Hello and welcome to Too Sharp with ET. I'm Nisha Podar and let's get you straight. The top two developments of the day that you must know about. Now, Trump announces 25% tariff on oil and gas imports from countries buying crude from Venezuela. And Samsung faces tax bill of $600 million in India. US President Donald Trump has announced 25% tariff on oil and gas imports from any country that really continues to purchase Venezuelan crude. Now, this move, which will take effect on 2nd of April, aims to isolate Venezuela but could have significant repercussions for India. Take a look at these numbers. Well, 2024, India imported 22 million barrels of Venezuelan oil, with Reliance Industries being the largest private buyer. Now, India purchased over 254,000 barrels daily in January alone, nearly half of Venezuela's total exports. Introducing this new tariff could really increase costs for Indian refiners and also disrupt supply chains. According to the US order, the tariff will remain in place until countries completely cease Venezuelan imports for at least 1 year. As a result, Indian refiners may need to explore alternative sources of crude, such as increasing their purchases of Russian crude oil. If the tariffs really cause global oil prices to rise, this could also elevate inflation risks in India, leading to higher transportation and manufacturing costs. All this in the background of India-US trade talks. A US delegation is visiting India for talks from 25th to 29th March, and New Delhi is expected to really request an exemption from Trump's reciprocal tariffs, which will also take effect from 2nd of April. Sources indicate that both sides will discuss a framework for a bilateral trade agreement, with formal negotiations likely to follow. Trump has consistently criticized India's high import duties, describing them as unfair to the American businesses. In response, India has already taken a few steps to appease Washington, including cutting tariffs on products like bourbon whiskey as well as Harley Davidson. Another important development by India, it moves to scrap Google tax in India, signaling a shift in its approach with a proposal to eliminate the 6% equalization levy on online ad services, commonly called the Google tax, which is effective from 1st of April. Now, this tax was applied to foreign tech giants like Google and Meta, which offered services in India without a local presence. This particular rollback comes as India and the US work towards sealing a trade pact following years of friction over this particular levy. Now, India has collected over 3,300 crores from the Equalisation levy, and this year itself, but appears willing to forego this particular revenue to keep the larger trade deal on tactical moves and terms. This move and tariff war is here to stay, and we'll see the developments and how it impacts India going forward. In another development of the day, India has ordered Samsung and its top executives to pay $601 million in tax and penalties, accusing the company of evading tariffs on telecom equipment imports. Now, this information comes from a confidential order which has been reviewed by Reuters. The tax demand is one of the largest in recent years that we've seen, amounting to over 60% of Samsung's net profit in India last year, which was reported at $955 million. Now, the company has the option to even challenge the order before a tax tribunal or court. So, what's the issue here? Let's talk about the controversy. It revolves around a critical telecom equipment known as a remote radio head, a radio frequency circuit used in 4G mobile towers. Now, Samsung imported these units valued at $784 million between 2018 and 21, primarily from Korea and Vietnam. but did not pay any import duties in India. According to Indian customs officials, this component is subject to tariff of either 10% or 20%, depending on its classification, and should have incurred duties. In an 8th January order, Customs Commissioner accused Samsung of intentionally misclassifying the component to avoid paying tariffs. So the order states that Samsung knowingly and intentionally presented false documents and violated Indian laws in a calculated attempt to maximize the profits at the government's expense. Now, Samsung has been directed to pay tax, penalty, and even fine for its Indian executives. In a statement to Reuters, Samsung indicated that the dispute arises from differing interpretations of product classification by customs. Now, the company also asserts that it has complied with Indian laws and is currently assessing the legal options to really protect its rights. So that's a statement coming in from the company. However, customs officials disagree with Samsung's classification claims. Now, this is not the first instance of India really pursuing global firms over import duties. For example, Volkswagen is currently embroiled in a $1.4 billion legal battle with Indian authorities over the alleged misclassification of car parts. We'll keep you updated on the developments. With that, it's a wrap on 2 Sharp with ET. Thanks so much for tuning in.